What if I told you our world was predicted, not by scientists or tech billionaires, but by poets, philosophers, and visionaries who lived centuries before the internet, smartphones, or this connected digital age? They saw it. They wrote it down. And their words are staring right back at us from the pages of history. Welcome to the Quotebook. Today we're not just reading wisdom, we're decoding prophecies. There's a particular chill that runs down your spine when you read something written in 50 BC or 1600 AD and think, my God, they're talking about social media. This is more than coincidence. We're talking about specific, precise, and terrifyingly accurate descriptions of our psychological state, our technology, and our societal dilemmas, written by people who had never seen a light bulb. This is the power of fundamental human insight. When a mind pierces through the superficial details of its own time and touches the timeless patterns of human nature and progress, something magical happens. They begin to see the future. Today we're opening the vault of 5 of these prophetic quotes. Each one will make you question the linear flow of time. Brace yourself. The past is about to get uncomfortably familiar. Let's start with the Roman Stoic Seneca. He wrote, "The abundance of books is distraction." What? The soul, when bewildered by a variety of things, loses depth. He was talking about the information overload of his day, the multitude of scrolls and texts. Now replace books with information streams. Replace the library with the entire internet in your pocket. Seneca just diagnosed the 21st century mental health crisis 2,000 years early. He's describing the endless scroll, the anxiety of having too much to consume and no time to digest any of it, the feeling of being well-informed but utterly shallow. He predicted the consequence, a loss of depth, a fragmented attention span, a soul bewildered. He didn't just predict vast information, he predicted its psychological cost with clinical precision. His warning is a message carved in stone. Your technology of distribution will outpace your psychology of digestion. And here we are. A century and a half before the first social network, the Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard nailed the existential dread of the digital age. He wrote about the public, a faceless, anonymous crowd. He described a terrifying phenomenon, the loss of the authentic, individual self to a phantom collective. He said we end up living for an abstract audience which demands constant performance, strips away personal responsibility, and leaves the individual in a state of profound loneliness disguised as connection. Does that sound familiar? He predicted the performative self, the curated profile, the pressure to craft an identity for consumption by thousands who don't truly know you. He warned that in seeking validation from this abstract public, we would become strangers to ourselves. We are known to everyone and no one, he might say today. Thousands know your face, your opinions, your breakfast, but who knows your silent struggles? Kierkegaard saw the architecture of social media's soul sickness before the telegraph was widespread. He predicted not the platform, but the psychological prison it would become. Now let's talk about virtual reality. The French philosopher Jean Baudrillard wrote about simulacra and simulation. He argued we are moving toward a world where the copy, the simulation, the representation replaces and becomes more real than the original. We create symbols and models of reality so perfect and immersive that we prefer them to the messy, authentic world. He predicted virtual reality and the metaverse, not in technical specs, but in their existential consequence. He said we would become intoxicated not by substances, but by representations, that the map would become so detailed we'd forget there's an actual territory outside of it. Look at our world. Social media is a simulation of social life. News feeds simulate understanding. Filters simulate beauty. Baudrillard warned that when the simulation becomes perfect, reality itself begins to decay. Why mend a real relationship when you can get validation from strangers online? This is a blinking red alarm. You are building a world of copies, and you will forget what the original felt like. Long before machine learning, the psychologist B.F. Skinner gave us a chilling prophecy. The real danger is not that machines will begin to think like men, but that men will begin to think like machines. The fear is in a robot uprising. The deeper prediction is about human adaptation. In our quest for efficiency, we design systems that reshape us in their image. Look at the algorithmic feed. It doesn't just recommend content. It trains your attention, your desires, your outrage, Slowly, your thinking becomes more binary, more reactive, more pattern-based, more machine-like. We reduce the mystery of health and happiness to data points. We see ourselves as systems to be optimized. The prophecy is this: we willingly outsource our judgment and curiosity to automated systems for convenience. We trade human intuition for predictable logic. The warning is about the death of nuance and the standardization of the human spirit. The machines won't need to conquer us. We will have willingly adapted to think like them. Finally, the philosopher Herbert Spencer gave us the master key. He wrote, "The ultimate effect of shielding men from the effects of folly is to fill the world with fools." This isn't about a specific technology, but the total cultural environment. When you remove natural consequences, when you buffer people from failure, from unpopular opinions, from genuine challenge, you infantilize a culture. Connect this to our algorithmically curated world. Personalized feeds shield us from challenging ideas. Social scoring shields us from real social feedback. Spencer predicted the bubble, the echo chamber, the fragile mindset that cannot tolerate discomfort. He predicted a world where we are so efficiently shielded from folly that folly itself becomes the norm. The world becomes full of fools, not because people are born foolish, but because the system protects them from ever needing to be wise. This is the meta-prediction that ties all the others together. So, what now? We stand here, living in the world these thinkers described with uncanny accuracy. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. They identified eternal tensions in the human condition. They didn't give us a fate, they gave us a choice. The same ingenuity that created this world can navigate it with wisdom. We can use technology without letting it use us. We can consume information while guarding our depth. We can connect online while fiercely protecting our real human connections. Here is your mission from the past to the present. First, introduce friction. Deliberately break the algorithms. Seek out what you don't already like. Have the hard conversation offline. Second, cultivate depth. Practice focusing on one thing deeply. Let your soul recover from the bewilderment of variety. Third, touch reality. Regularly do something with no digital component, no score, and no shareable outcome. Just an experience. These voices from the past are not relics. They are guides. They saw the cliff from a distance. We are the ones driving toward it. It's our hands on the wheel. This is the Quotebook. We don't just read the past, we decode its messages for the future.